All right. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much for attending the Ask Me Anything webinar. Today, I'm so
Hi.
excited to conduct this webinar. Hello, everyone. So I welcome all of you once again, and I will quickly lay out the couple of rules for this webinar so that we go about it in an organized way, and then we can open the forum for Q&A. So my name is Devanshu Mukherjee, and I am an SAP BW HANA SAC PAPM consultant with over 19 years of experience. And I am starting SAC planning and reporting training batch 2, which is starting on 8th of February. So before I start the session, many of you have emailed me, have asked me over LinkedIn that, what is this training covering and what are we going to discuss during the training? Is it hands-on? What about the server? So there are a lot of questions. There are umpteen questions. So I thought instead of individually emailing people answering their questions, why not have a webinar where you can now ask me anything, ask your questions, and then we will record this. I'm going to put it on YouTube, and then everybody can access that. I hope that will solve and that will answer many of your questions. And still, if you have questions, of course, we have email ID. I'll put my email ID here at the end of the training, at the end of the webinar, sorry. And then you can send me emails as well. All right, guys. So without any further ado, I'm not going to lecture you in this. This is not a training session. I just want to highlight the agenda for this webinar. So basically, this is for your questions about the SAC planning and reporting training, not about technical issues or project related issues. You are facing something in your project, there is a problem. We are not here to discuss that, because if we go down that rabbit hole, then it can take up the entire meeting. So this webinar is primarily about questions about the training, which is starting on 8th of February, which is SAC Planning and Reporting Batch 2. And to keep the questions and answers in an organized way, what I would request all of you to raise your hand. So you can raise your hand if you have a question, and I will take one by one. I will ask you to unmute yourself. When I call upon your name, you can unmute yourself and then you can ask your questions. So there is an option to raise your hand. So you can raise your hand like I see one hand just raised. So please use that functionality, because if I open the forum for everyone and everyone starts speaking at the same time, it's going to be very difficult for me to manage that. So that's why I would request you to raise your hand if you have a question, and then I can answer that. All right. So with that, I will now start taking questions. I see a couple of hands raised. Padmaja, please go ahead. You have a
Hi,
question?
Hi, Debanshu. Hi, all. Good morning. Good evening. A quick question. If this is a SAC planning and reporting, is the training divided equally between the two streams? Like you will be uh, teaching planning functionalities as well as reporting and dashboard functionalities in the same fashion, like in an equal weightage?
Very good question, Padmaja. Thank you. And I'm so glad to hear your voice after so long. So
Same
thank you
here.
for joining this. Okay, so coming to the question. So what she's asking is that, are you covering both in equal proportions, or is the focus on one compared to the other? So the answer is the focus is equally distributed for reporting and planning. So the way I conduct this training is I'm going to start from very basics and scratch. So you don't need any functional knowledge or planning knowledge or any finance knowledge. You do not need any of that. We will start with the very basic modeling. We'll start with the modeling, how a model is created, what are the dimensions, public dimension, private dimensions, etc. So we'll start with modeling. Then we will go on to the reporting. And once you guys are comfortable with modeling and reporting, then we will jump into the final third aspect of the training, which is also one of the focus of the training, which is planning. Because to understand planning, you have to have a good foundation of modeling and reporting both. Then you will understand what's going on in the planning. And then, of course, we'll have planning related topics. So yes, I'm covering both. All right. Avinash, go ahead.
Hello, good morning. So, I have two questions. Maybe okay. Before start, I can say that I have very limited knowledge on SAP. So, my question, if weird, please excuse me. Okay. So, I heard a lot of planning applications in SAP like BPC, IP, group reporting, planning, financial consolidation, so many things. So, I assume some of the applications already deprecated. So, in this SSC planning, all this functionality or all these things are you going to learn, or like the scope is limited to certain things? This is one question. And second question, I saw that in the course content that we are going with live business use cases, scenarios, all those things. So is it like if someone going to start, or like in a project, if the SSC planning they're going to start, how to start, or like what to design, maybe like kind of architecture, all those things, are you going to cover in this training?
Okay. Thank you, Avinash, for the question. So I'll reiterate that for everyone else as well. So Avinash has a couple of questions. The first question is, um, he has seen many tools for planning, like BPC is there, integrated planning, which we call IP, which is tightly integrated with BW. So all these planning tools are there, and then they are getting deprecated gradually, and then SAC is also there for planning. So which one are we going to cover? Right, Avinash, is that your first question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this training is primarily on SAC planning. And SAC planning is the future for SAP suite of tools when it comes to planning and of course reporting as well. Gradually, the BPC, which is an on-premise planning tool, integrated planning, again an on-premise planning tool, all these gradually will be migrated. Client will migrate them into SAC planning or SAC group reporting, because SAC supports both group reporting and planning now. Of course, the functionality is not equal to what BPC currently offers or integrated planning currently offers. SAC is still doing a little bit of catch up. It's behind these tools, but gradually SAC will become the primary tool for both planning and group reporting. But those tools will still be there for a few more years because many clients are using them and they cannot just decommission or sunset that. But gradually they will move on to SAC. So we will cover in this training, we are going to cover the income statement planning. So within planning, we have lots of types of planning. We have HR, headcount planning. We have supply chain planning. We have finance FP&A planning. And within FP&A planning, we have cost center planning, profit center planning, and we also have income statement planning, which are called financial statements, balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow. These are the three types of financial statements any company has to prepare. So within these three, I have taken the most important one, which is the income statement planning. And that's what we are going to take as a customer scenario, where a customer is implementing income statement planning within finance, FP&A. FP&A stands for financial planning and analysis. So within FP&A, we have this income statement planning, and that's going to be the focus. And coming to the second question, Avinash, can you again repeat the second question, please?
Yeah, if some company going to implement SAC planning first time, they will go through, I assume, some kind of architecture, system architecture, business architecture, how to design, what to do in the starting. Then
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So that was a great question as well. So for that, yes, we are covering that because when we cover the customer scenario, we are going to prepare something called FDD. FDD stands for Functional Design Document. So when you go for any project, you will have blueprinting. First, you will prepare a blueprint, then you will prepare functional design document, then you will prepare technical design document. So we are preparing functional design document from scratch where you will get an idea that, okay, when a project starts from scratch, it's a greenfield project. Greenfield means it's a new project. We call the business terminology is called greenfield. So if it's a greenfield project, if it's a new project, what are the different design and architectural decisions which needs to be made? What are the different areas where the customer has to decide what they are going to do. Like, for example, what are the dimensions which they will report on or plan on? What are the transaction data they will report on, plan on? What are the security requirements? What is the sizing they'll have to do? What is the data locking mechanism they have to employ? So all these decisions, which are architectural decisions, will be captured as part of FDD, and we are preparing FDD from scratch. So yes, that is also covered. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Sumit, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Devanshu. This is Sumit here. So I think these questions which has been asked has answered my first question. So my second question is regarding like once we start the training. So as we told, we'll be doing the live case scenarios and everything like we used to work in a live project.
Right.
So like in terms of system point of view, like the servers of which we'll be getting, will it have all the integration with backend system? Like are you getting data from BPC system or S/4HANA in terms of that, or it will be only like the dummy flat file data will be using that? Maybe it's majorly onto the server point of view I want to ask this.
Okay. So very relevant question. Yes, this is one of the most frequently asked questions as well for my training. So when we will do planning, the income statement planning, we are not going to work with dummy data. No, we are going to work with S/4HANA data. And within S/4HANA, we are going to log in into S/4HANA. And I'm going to show you that. That's the hands-on I'm talking about. So in the hands-on, we are going to go into S/4HANA. We are going to prepare the income statement hierarchy ourselves in S/4HANA. So I'm going to show you how to use those transaction code and create the FSV. We call that financial statement version hierarchy, which is nothing but a GL account hierarchy. So we are going to create from scratch an FSV, which is a financial statement version hierarchy, which will mimic the income statement. Then we will load that data, the hierarchy data, and also the attributes data and the transaction data finally from S4 into SAC, and then we will do our planning. For the reporting part, because planning is the third phase, right? So we'll start with modeling, then we'll go into reporting, then we'll go into planning. For the first two part, modeling and reporting, we are going to use flat files, which is going to be the sample data or data which is in flat file. But when we come to planning, we are going to connect to S/4HANA, import data, because planning needs import data. You cannot have live data connection on for planning, at least not for now. Maybe in future it's going to come with DataSphere, but right now you have to load the data inside SAC model, and then the planning can be enabled. So we are going to connect to S/4HANA. We are going to create FSV hierarchies, income statement in S4, and then we are going to activate OData services, which are going to give us CDS views. So we are going to look at CDS views also in S4, and then we will load the data and start our planning. All right.
Okay, so this yeah,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
No,
Just one more.
that's
So
okay.
this
That's okay.
this particular like I'm using trial version right now and it's a very limited functionality. So the server which will be getting, it will be like we'll have that access till the training lasts, or is it like after that also we'll still have that access to use the servers post our training got completed?
Okay, so there are two types of access for the servers. First option is you can go for trial server, right? SAC trial server. And if you go for SAC trial server, there are two trial server types, the basic trial and the advanced trial. And I'm going to give the link for both once you join the training. In the advanced trial, you can connect to S4HANA for the Get Trained. I'm using the Get Trained server. They are the server provider I have been using from the very beginning. Even for my BW for HANA training, I use them. So I'm continuing with them. So Get Trained servers have opened their ports on S4HANA. You have to open certain ports. Once those ports are open, then your trial, your SAC advanced trial, will be able to connect to S4HANA and you will be able to load the data. So you will be able to follow along with me on the trial server itself. You don't need a license server. I am going to work with license server. I have my own license server, which I spent a lot of money to buy the license server just for this training. But you guys, if you have a trial server, then it will also allow you to load the data from S4HANA. But not any S4HANA. I'm talking about just Get Trained server because they have opened certain ports which allows you to bypass the cloud connector because usually we will need cloud connector to connect to S4HANA and load the data. But if you open those ports, then you can bypass the cloud connector and direct connection you can use and load the data, which Get Trained has enabled. So that's why I'm using their server. So you also will be able to load the data in the advanced trial as well.
Okay, thank you, Debashish, for your detailed explanation. Thanks so much.
No problem. Lakshmipati,
Hi, Devansh.
go ahead.
Yeah, hi Devanshu. So my first question is, so are you going to cover integration topics like, especially like connecting data sphere and group reporting, and also are you going to cover group reporting planning topics, part of planning? So that's my question actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will not be covering group reporting. I will be covering planning
Mm-hmm.
because group reporting is a completely new topic and it's a whole new world which will take another actually dedicated training. This training is focused on planning, not group reporting. And for planning, yes, we are integrating with S4HANA and we are going to load the data from S4HANA. And I'm going to show you how to load the data, how to create those CDS views, how to activate those data services, how to create FSV. So yes, the integration is there with S4HANA.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm going to show you live data connection with BW for HANA and live data connection with native HANA, calculation views. So
Mm-hmm.
these three integration scenarios are covered. S4
Yeah.
HANA import data, BW for HANA live data, calculation view native HANA live data.
Yeah.
When it comes to group reporting or data sphere, no,
Mm-hmm.
that integration is not covered in this. Because for planning, we are not loading data from data sphere. We are loading data from S4 HANA. So data sphere integration is not covered. But theoretically, if you want to know how data sphere is connected, what are the steps? Yes, those I can provide you, but they will not be covered as part of this training.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Another question: Are you going to cover like data loading from SAC to BW and vice versa, BW to SAC as well? That.
Okay, so BW to SAC, I'm going to show you live and not the import data. Import data will be from S4.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
BW will be live and native HANA calculation view will be also live. We'll show you that.
Okay. Okay.
Write backs. Now you're talking about write backs. Write back from SAC back to BW or
Yeah.
write back from SAC back to S4 HANA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They are not covered in this part of training because they need some configuration settings. Because for writing back, you need OData connectivity and OData
Mm-hmm.
connection. So that has not been established yet with as Get Trained. I'm still working on that with them. If I'm able to successfully configure that connection, because you need lot of admin activities before you can start writing back, right? That
Mm-hmm.
OData connection and the destination, etc., has to be set up first.
Okay.
So unfortunately, right now it's not yet working. I'm still working with GetTrain. As soon as if it works, then I'll be able to show you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Shavik, go ahead.
Hi Devanshu. I just had a question regarding the GateTrain server access basically.
Mhm.
So is it something that we have to, take the access and pay them separately, or it is included in whatever we are paying for the training?
It is separate. GetTrained access server is separate because I don't I don't provide that server. They are a separate company, separate entity. I work with them. I am also paying them for the server access. So that is separate from this training cost.
Okay,
But
and
they have a discounted price just for my training. So if you take my training and if you send an email to them and keep me in loop, they will give you a much better price than the regular price.
okay. So do we need to have this server access before we start the training, or during the course of training also we can have it?
Great question. So as I told you, there are three phases of this training: modeling, reporting, and then planning. For modeling and reporting, we are going to start with flat files, but we will very soon move on to the live. Also, I'm going to show you the live integration between SAC and BW for HANA and SAC and native HANA calculation views. So maybe not initially, maybe not initial, maybe 5, 6 classes, 5, 6 sessions you won't need, but after that you will need that because then you'll have to see how BW for HANA, the query, we'll create a query, we'll create a hierarchy in BW for HANA. So if you don't have access to that, then you won't be able to do that. So maybe initially not 4, 5 classes, but after that you will need.
Okay, thanks, Devanshu.
All right, Anup, please go ahead.
Hi, Devanshu. Devanshu, there are two questions. First question is, what are the prerequisites? I come from non-IT background, so that is something uh, I'm exposed to SAP for the very first time. So, are there any prerequisites for starting up planning and reporting in SAC? Question number one. Question number two is, I saw in the syllabus or the training content that you sent that there are some financial terms and probably some initial concepts that would be required, which you will be covering in the session. So, can you just elaborate on these two aspects, please?
Sure, Anup. So question number one, are there any prerequisites? No, there are no prerequisites for this course. The functional knowledge required to understand income statement, the functional knowledge required to understand the planning based on income statement, I am going to cover that in detail. So there is one session which is dedicated to explaining what is an income statement, what are the different components, like what is an operating income, what is an operating expense, OPEX, what is COGS, cost of goods sold, what is net income, what is gross income, what is net sales. So all those components which goes inside an income statement of a company, I'm going to explain in a very layman terminology, in a very layman language, so that you will understand. And that is with an example also, because we are taking a company called A Square Incorporation. That is the company for which we are implementing income statement. So you are going to see the actual income statement which I have prepared, and I'm going to explain each and everything. So no prerequisites for this course. You don't have to have any finance knowledge or any planning knowledge. Everything will be explained in detail. And income statement is what I was talking about that we will discuss in detail.
Okay, thanks, Devanshu.
And by the way, Anup, do we know each other? Are you the Anup from back my?
Yes, I'm the same Anup.
Oh my God! Wow, it's so good to hear your voice.
Yeah. Devanshu is the same Anup at Hyderabad that we stayed together.
Yes. Wow. I can't believe. Thank you, Manu. Thanks a lot for joining this, and
Yeah,
we'll touch base after this as well.
absolutely. Thanks, Devanshu.
Thank you very much. Akshay, we have some repeat people here. Akshay, how are you doing?
I'm good, Devanshu. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Akshay, go ahead.
So, I would like to ask what kind of scripting do we do in SSC and till what extent we are covering it through this training?
Wonderful question. Okay, so scripting in SAC is at two levels. First is data actions advanced formula. That is the first place where you will write some code. and we are covering data actions advanced formula in detail with a very complex example and debugging those advanced formula as well. So that part is covered end to end. The second place where scripting is required in SAC is called the JavaScript, where you will actually edit the widgets which you put in your story. Every widget can be scripted behind the scenes, that if a customer, if the end user clicks on it, what's going to happen, when it will initialize, what's going to happen. So that is called scripting for different widgets on the story, custom widgets or custom scripting. That is JavaScript based. There is a subset of JavaScript called TypeScript, which is used in SAC. That part is not covered because that is a whole new world in itself. And that is not the focus of this training. The planning is the focus of this training. So that scripting is not covered, but the first one, which is data action advanced formula, that is covered because that is very, very frequently used in planning.
Okay, so this data action formula is something similar to the Fox formula in planning?
Yes, you're right. Absolutely. So if you want to
Okay.
write advanced logic or custom logic, which is not possible with the graphical user interface, then we will go for advanced formula, data actions advanced formula, and that is similar to Fox formula, and that is covered in detail.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
Devanshu, that requires some knowledge on the Python coding, or is it
No,
irrelevant?
it does not. Python is irrelevant. We are not covering Python. You don't need Python. It just needs a basic logical understanding of the syntax, which again I'm going to cover end to end from scratch. It's just like target equals to source kind of a language. It's not ABAP, it's not SQL, it's not Python. It's a typical language within SAP. People who have worked with integrated planning or BPC embedded, we have something called Fox formulas in BPC embedded and IP, and that the language is more or less the same there. But don't worry about it. I'm going to explain its syntax. The syntax is explained step by step. Okay. Kiran, go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi, Devanshu. I have three questions, Devanshu.
Okay.
Are you covering analytical applications part of the course? The first one. And second, right, I did have SSC Access 3 years back, the trial one I used. And do you think I can be getting the advanced one also? That's how you're going to show me how to get the advanced access in SSC. And third is, will you be covering, like, I know a lot of times, right, you implement a report or analytics and to debug a performance, right? Will you be covering that, how to debug a performance, and what are the best practices to do that part of the course?
Perfect. Okay. Three great questions. First question I'll answer. Will I cover analytic applications? Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, let's not call anymore the analytic applications. Analytic applications is obsolete now. Now it is integrated in the unified story. So within the story, you can write scripting for different widgets.
Mhm.
That is the second scripting part I was talking about. Previously, a gentleman asked that what kind of scripting is covered. So I told them two types of scripting are there in SAC. One is covered, one is not covered. The first one is data actions advanced formula, that is covered end to end. The type scripting or JavaScript based scripting, which is widget, customizing the widgets, that is what you're asking about, analytics
Yep.
designer, right?
Yep. Yep.
That is not covered as part of this because again, the reason is that's a whole new world in itself. It's a huge thing. So if I try to cover that, then I will not be able to focus on the planning part, which is the main meat of the training. So no, that is not covered. Second question is, sorry, can you
SSC Access, like I used
SAC access? Yes. So yes, I will be telling you how to get access to the advanced trial, and SAP has removed the restriction that you can use one email ID only once. Now you can use the same email ID multiple times to get the server. You will get the server again for 60 days or 90 days.
Yes.
Advanced trial is for 60 days,
Okay.
and then you can easily get that and then follow along.
Oh, it has removed for everything, Devanshu, even for SAC, data sphere and everything, or only SAC?
Data sphere, I haven't checked, but I'm just talking about the SAC part.
Okay.
For SAC, they have removed that restriction, so you can use your email ID multiple times to get again and again and again the same server. Yeah, the tenant might be different every time. So don't expect that if you have developed, say, for example, 10 models and 5 stories within the 60 days and it expires, you again go for registering advanced trial. It's not necessary that the same tenant will be given to you. So you might have to do that thing again.
Yep.
That's
Now,
the challenge there.
I
And the
think
third
Devanshu, we can
question,
export the structures
no,
if we
in
have
the
created
advanced
in.
trial version, you will not get the export option.
yeah,
Export option is disabled in the
yeah.
trial version. So you will not be able to export. But yeah, you can take screenshots and then you can do it again. And what was the third question? Sorry.
Like the performance debugging story
Yes,
or
yes, yes, we are covering that. So when I'm writing data actions, I'll give you an example. When I'm writing data actions, we will write the data actions first, we will execute them and then debug them as well. And then I will show you that what are the improvements you can do in the data action, what are the best practices from a performance standpoint. And we are going to also change that and make it performance compliant or performance optimized. And then I'm going to show you that as well. So yes,
okay.
that part is covered.
Yeah, will that be same for the regular, not the planning dashboard, Devanshu? If you build a regular
Yes, yes,
dashboard.
yes. The performance best practices are going to be covered for both reporting and planning
Okay.
and modeling as well. Because in the modeling, what you should do, what you should not do are
Mm-hmm.
also covered.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Raman, go ahead.
Hi Devanshu, I'm the repeat one from 2020.
Oh, great, great. Welcome, welcome, Raman.
Devanshu, what I wanted to know is that about the write back from SAC to S4HANA, whether you will be including that as a theoretical one also if the connection is not established.
Yes, theoretically, I can definitely cover that. Not a big deal. But hands-on, I'm still working with GetTrained. If I'm successful, I'll show you. If not, then I will explain theoretically.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Kiran, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Devanshu. So I have a couple of questions. So my first question is for whom and at what experience level is this training going to be beneficial? Like, is it for someone like having some 8 to 10 years of experience who is working as a lead consultant or as a team lead, or with 15 plus years of experience who is working as at a manager level? And second question is, as you have you have a licensed version of SAC. So would we be able to implement the scenarios that you have shown us as part of the training in the trial version? And my third question is, you were mentioning like some two to three scenarios relevant for planning and earlier, and you said that you are going to cover on the financial planning part.
Yes.
So would this training be helpful for in case of other if we get into any project apart from finance? So would this training be helpful for us to the implement the knowledge that we gain here?
Okay, great. So I'll take one by one. Question number
Yeah.
one. Who is this training for? A developer or a manager or a senior consultant? So the answer is this training is for all. The reason I'm saying all, I know this is a touche. I'm just saying what every trainer or every training company will say. And by the way, guys, I would request you not to annotate on the screen because that makes it a little bit clumsy here. And please don't annotate. And I'm going to remove that annotation. Just give me a second. So I'm going to clear this. Let me see. Yes, I would request please don't annotate on the screen that because otherwise we won't be able to see the content properly. So please refrain from that. Okay, so coming back to the question, so this training is for all, and the reason it is for all is because this is very detailed training. It's not just a theoretical training, it's a very, very detailed actual customer scenario driven training where I'm going to show you what actually on the project happens. We will create functional design document, then we'll go about implementing it. So For a developer also, this will be beneficial for a manager as well, because it's not just technical aspect we are covering functional aspect also. So you will understand what is an income statement and how planning is done. So a lead or a functional consultant or a senior manager will also benefit from this, as well as the developer as well. Who will benefit the most? Of course, the developers or the modelers and the story designers will be benefiting from this the most. But it is also relevant for the managers, senior managers. Even if you have 15 years, 20 years of experience, this is very, very important, because if you go for an interview, okay, I'm not preparing you for just certification or theoretical knowledge. I'm equipping you from real customer knowledge, customer project knowledge, which will enable you to crack any interview, SAC interview. Because when you go for SAC interviews, they are going to ask you about data actions. They are going to ask you about performance. They are going to ask you about the different aspects of the story. So they're not going to ask you just overall, I mean, just high level of SAC. So that's why this training is covering very detailed plus the functional as well. So it's for all. Second question. Can I follow along on the trial server? Yes, you will be able to follow along on the trial server, but get trained is the server people who have enabled those ports. Not everybody has opened those ports in their server. So that's why I will emphasize that you get the server from get trained. But if you have some other vendors whom you are already working with, feel free to go with them. But make sure that those ports are open. Usually, people are not willing to open those ports because of security reason. But if the ports are open, then in the advanced trial of SAC, you will be able to load the data from the S4 system of GetTrained. So yes, you will be able to follow along. And the third question was that can I use this in any other scenario as well? Like for example, I'm covering the income statement in financial planning, but will it be also helpful for me if I go for any other type of project, just reporting project, maybe no planning project? Yes, you absolutely. The reason is because I'm not just covering planning. I'm starting with modeling first, then I'm going to reporting, then I'm going to planning. So I'm covering all the three aspects of the SAC project. So you will be able to use that anywhere. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Devanshu.
No problem. Rinku, go ahead.
Yeah, Devasis. Um, looks like you have answered few of the question already, but like I would like to get some more detail about this SSC trial version. So what would be the validity of this trial version? Will it be valid until our full training is completed, or there is some certain number of the days available in trial version? Second question about the trial version is this trial version will be able to connect and get the live connection, though we will be getting it through the that company that you suggested for. And third is like will you be able to provide any kind of the job assistance once in case if you get placed on the project?
Okay.
Thank you.
Good question, Rinku. Thank you. So first question is, what is the validity of the trial server? So if you get a basic trial, it is 90 days. If you get advanced trial, it is 60 days. How long is my training for? My training is ranging from 12 weeks to 15 weeks. So which is around 3 months, I would say, right? So 2.5 to 3 months. So if you get basic trial, yes, that's going to cover the entire duration of my project. Sorry, my training. And if you get advanced trial, that will cover 2 months. So you might have to take advanced trial again. Okay, that is the first question. And the second question is, will I be able to connect just like my license server? Yes, you will be able to connect and get the data from S4 HANA and load the data and follow along with me. It's possible in the advanced trial. And third question, will I be getting job support? No, you will not be getting job support. But what will you get is interview preparation support. Absolutely, you will get it. You will get interview questions which I have faced in my past and my participants, my training participants have faced during their interview. You will get interview preparation questions, interview preparation sessions if you want to have. It's also there included. but job support is not included. Once you are on the job, you are on your own, and that's the reason I'm equipping you with the actual real customer scenario based training and knowledge, so that you don't need anyone on your job. You are self-sufficient and you can deliver any project end to end in SAC. That's why this training is different from other training. It's not just like any other theoretical training. It is completely based on customer scenario. So job support is not there because I expect you that you will not need anyone. You will just need Google, SAP help, and your knowledge from the training. That should be good enough for any project. Okay. Ram, go ahead. Ram, you're on mute.
Yeah, hi Debanshu.
Yes, Ram.
So I have mainly question on the planning side. So are you covering this integrated financial planning or integration with S4 and the financial planning and analysis?
Yes, that's what we are covering. So it's basically a hybrid of rapid FP&A and
Okay.
IFP, integrated financial planning. So the scenario which we are implementing is, as I told you, we're going to prepare FSV in S4 HANA, which will mimic the income statement. So first I'll explain income statement, then we'll go and prepare FSV from scratch. Then we will go into CDS views and make sure the CDS views are ready for the O data services, which will
Okay.
get this FSV, and then we will load the data in SAC, and then we will do all the planning related activities in SAC.
So it covers everything, right? Like end to end from
Yes,
CDS
what it
view.
will
Okay.
not cover is GL account creation in S4HANA. That is not covered. Cost center creation, profit center creation, functional area creation, that is not covered.
Yeah.
We will assume that they are already there in the system. Then we will create FSVs on top of that, which is basically GL account hierarchy, which is the income statement. And then we
Okay.
will create cost center hierarchy. We will create profit center hierarchy. We will load them in SAC through the import data connection. And also connectivity also I'm going to show you end to end how to
Okay.
how the cloud connector is configured, how S4 HANA import jobs are created. So every connections are also in detail covered, and then we'll do the
Okay.
planning.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, thanks.
All right, Hardik, go ahead. Hardik, are you there? Can you hear me? You are on mute, by the way. Hardik, going once. Okay, there you
Hi, hi Devanshu.
go. Hello.
Actually, I'm like a working professional. So I just need to know what are the timings you are following for the training, because like I have like 9 to 5 job. So and the second thing is like main attraction for me to attend your training is the planning.
Yes.
So that's where that's what like fetched me towards your training. Uh, so can you just answer this? I mean about the timings.
Absolutely. So this is going to be the timing. As you can see on my screen, batch 2 is starting on 8th of February 2025. It's a weekends only batch, Saturday and Sunday. I don't train during weekdays. The timing is going to be 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, which is Toronto, Canada time, which translates to 7 to 9 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. So duration is 12 weeks, and the modus operandi I'm following is Zoom online meetings.
Devanshu, I think, and there will be a time change in March also, right?
Oh, because of the daylight saving?
Yeah, daylight saving. Yeah, March.
Okay, my time remains the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
The timing adjustments you'll have to be cognizant about, but from my side, the timing is going to be 8:30 to 10:30, even after the daylight saving changes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Devanshu.
No problem, Hardik. Thank you. Ishwaran, go ahead. Ishwaran, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
please.
bunch. So the first thing is I'm already working in DataSphere and SAC projects. So my landscape also similar to what we are going to give, like as for HANA cloud we are using and DataSphere and SAC. So I hope I
Great.
can utilize the same connection, right?
Yes, you should be. Is it
Yeah.
a licensed version?
Yeah, it's licensed and I'm working in
Okay,
one of
you're
the
talking
company.
about your project landscape, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You will be able to, provided you have access. Like for example, in S4 HANA, if you don't have access to OB59T code to create FSV, then you'll have to get that access. So
Yeah, I will get that done.
yeah, so
Whatever
just
is
make sure
required.
that the T codes I'm using and the things I'm doing in S4 HANA and also the things I'm doing in SAC. See, because in SAC also, if you don't have admin role, you will probably not be able to go into system administration and do things which I will show you. But if you have admin role, great, you will be able to do it. If you have just a planner or a modeler role, then you might not be able to see those things which I'm showing on the screen.
Yeah,
But that's not a big deal. You can just get that access if you want.
yeah, in development I do have the admin. So the
Okay, great.
second thing is in ACC, I think you're going to like give quick introduction, going to explain all the like widgets and options and like I mean connections
Yes.
also, what we can
Absolutely.
connect, what not, right? So
Yeah,
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 second,
100%. Yeah, that is the basic thing which we'll start with. And
yeah,
then we'll go about modeling, reporting, and then planning. Yes.
security also, right? I hope for
That's
role
a
number.
good question. Okay. So security is covered, which is called DAC, data access control, but
Yeah.
it is not covered in detail or very end to end. The reason is because in my license version, I only have one user, which is me.
Okay.
I am the system owner and I'm the admin as well. So I have purchased single user license, not a multi-user license, because single user itself was very expensive. Multi-user was out of question. So I will be telling you the concept of data access control, how it is implemented, and we will configure that also in the model. But I will not be able to actually show you how multiple people are getting data only for their respective company codes or their cost centers because I have single user license. So I'm going to
Yeah,
tell you
that's fine. I mean,
theoretically. I'm going to also show you how to configure it, but I will not be able to show you with multiple users that concept. That I will show you in the theory, not on the system, because of the
practically.
single
Okay.
user license, unfortunately.
Yeah, I understand. And third thing is, I wanted to, what I want to ask. Okay, so I have asked you to change my email address actually from the current to the newest one. So I send reminder. I think you can help me on that, right? So whatever communication or Zoom link, whichever you're going to send, you can
Yeah.
start
That's
sending
fine.
me.
You can change the email ID as long as the training has not started. After the training has started and after the videos are being uploaded, recordings have been are uploaded, then the email ID cannot be changed. But initially, yes, we can change that.
Yeah, I've sent 2 times. I think you can
Is that
check
for
your
the
inbox.
recordings of batch one or is it for batch two?
Batch two only.
Okay, then we can change that. No problem.
And third thing is, somebody has asked me in my colleagues actually. So, do you have any batch one recordings handy, and they can buy it only for the recording session?
Yes, absolutely. So batch one is almost about to be over. Four more classes left for batch one. So after the batch one is done, then the recordings are available. In fact, recordings are available right now also. Whoever is
Okay.
interested, they can buy the recordings, and all the four remaining classes will be added as they are finished.
Okay. And is this going to be same exact cost for the batch two which we have paid, or
Yes,
it will be
exact
little
cost. There is
bit?
no change in the cost.
Okay. And then, like maybe like somebody has asked me, so maybe in the future once they join the project, right? So if they pay some extra payment or something like hourly based or something like, are you going to support kind of some practical projects on their project actually, like project
No.
practical reports? No, right?
No, job support is not there. As I told you, somebody else also asked the same question. Interview preparation support is there, but not job support. I don't do that. Sorry.
Even if you ready to pay some extra, right? No, right?
Yeah, even if you pay me extra, it's not possible because I don't have time for that. See, I have my
Hmm.
own job and I have my own projects, and that is very, very hectic already. So I will not be
Yeah.
able to do the job support, unfortunately.
Yeah. Why? Because the people new to SAC, right? So they want,
Yeah, that's
even
why
if they
this
are
training
giving.
is so detailed. And that's
Hmm.
why if you do follow along hands-on, you will not need anybody on your job support. You will be
Yeah.
self-sufficient. That's
Okay.
my endeavor. And that's why I also have pre and post-session Q&A. The way
Okay.
I teach is I will have pre-session Q&A dedicated for question and answers and post-session Q&A dedicated for questions and answers. So you can get all your questions answered, all your doubts answered. And if you follow along hands-on, then you will not need job support.
Sure, Devanshu. Thank you so much for all your answer.
No
Thank you.
problem, Ethan. Ankit, go ahead.
Hello, hello, Devanshu. So
Hello.
my question is small part of data sphere is also covered in this SSC training, or
No,
how
DataSphere
is
is
it?
not covered. No, DataSphere is not, unfortunately. Yeah, because DataSphere is a complete new world in itself, right? Yeah, connectivity, if you
Okay,
want, how to connect DataSphere to SAC, maybe that part theoretically only I will be able to show you. But DataSphere is not covered. DataSphere is a separate training which is coming up soon. Not soon, I would say by maybe by September, October this year. I'm planning to do that, but not in this training.
okay. And one more thing I want to ask you, what do you suggest? Should we buy the server access from that get trained, or is SSC advanced trial is sufficient?
No, SAC advanced trial is not sufficient because where will you get the data from? You have to connect to a source system also, right? And inside the
Yeah.
source system, we are doing a lot of activities. Inside S4HANA, we are going to create FSVs, we are going to create cost center hierarchies, we are going to look at the CDS views, all those things. So you need access to a server. And also BW for HANA, I'm going to show you live connectivity. Native HANA, we're going to create a calculation view from scratch and
Okay.
then connect that to SAC. So for all that, you will need access to Get Trained. And I will highly recommend Get Trained because they have everything configured already. Their cloud connector is working beautifully. They have their ports open. So I will highly recommend that. But if you already have other vendors, feel free to use them as well.
Okay. Thank you, Devanshu.
Thank you. SJ, go ahead, please. SJ, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, Debanshu. So my question is basically, when we're talking about SSC planning, so we have some the standard content for FPNA, XPNA, and all that. So
Mhm.
are we gonna use those the training, or are we gonna build it from the scratch?
Build it from scratch. We are not using any of the standard content, but there is a session dedicated to explaining the standard content, how to activate standard content, how to use that standard content. Yes, that is covered. But what we are doing is from scratch. We don't have anything to do with the standard content. Yes, the concept is the same. In the rapid FP&A, they have also implemented balance sheet income statement. And in our case, we are implementing income statement, but everything is from scratch.
Okay, so in case you will basically tell us how to activate the content and
Yes, absolutely.
but in case in the project customer want to use the standard content, then we
Yeah,
will.
you should be able to. That is covered. How to activate standard content and how to use that.
Okay. And another question is, are we also covering the SAC Excel add-in?
No, we are not. I'm going to show you theoretically, I'm going to show you when it is used, how it looks like, but hands-on, we are not covering the add-in in this training.
Okay.
Yeah, because our
Okay.
main focus is the input templates, data actions, multi-actions, currency conversion, disaggregation, allocations. So we have enough to cover in the planning side. That's why I don't think we'll have time to cover the Excel add-in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Ajay. Sumit, you still have a question?
Yes, Devanshu, I hope we
Okay.
have.
Sumit,
Yeah.
just give me like 1 minute because there are people who have not
Okay.
asked any question. So I'm going to give the chance
Yeah,
to them,
sure,
and
sure.
then I'm going to circle back to you. Okay.
Yeah, sure, no issues.
Sorry about that. Vasu, go ahead.
Good morning, Devanshu. Devanshu, currently I'm working on Microsoft Azure. I do not have any knowledge on SAC. In my project, my source will be the S4HANA. From S4HANA, we replicate tables into the data core by using this, what do you say, the Azure ADF. And
Yeah, Azure pipelines. Yeah, exactly.
but I do not have any knowledge of SAC. What will be the weightage for me? See, because I do not have any SAP background, like if I keep a resume or something. One more thing. So get trained, what is the cost they're going to charge for if you want to take the access from them?
Okay. So first question is, how much weightage it would be for me to learn SAC? Because I think you are not working on SAC, you are working on the Microsoft suite of tools, which is your ADF and Synapse, and now it's called Fabric, right? So everything is combined in Fabric. So okay. So the answer is that if your project is planning for SAC, then of course you should go for this, because SAC is going to be the future of planning and reporting for SAP tools, if you are sticking to SAP tools. But if you don't foresee that, no, my customer is not going to implement SAC, they are going to stick with Microsoft, Power BI, ADFs, Synapse, Fabric, etc., and just S4 is the only SAP component, then you don't need to learn SAC. Because if you learn today and you don't use it tomorrow, then you're going to forget about it. And SAC is evolving very fast. Every quarter, they are introducing new features, and they are changing certain things. So if you are not using SAC, then you can keep the training for reference, but I don't think it will be relevant 1 year, 2 years from now.
No, already we have the Power BI in our case. Already also they're bringing the Fabric also. See, if I want to move out from here, that is the reason.
Okay. Yes, definitely. If you want to move out and your interest area is SAC and planning specifically, this is the training for you.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Do I need to keep any backend or like SAP BW or DataSphere? Even I do not have any experience. If I keep 1 year or 1.5 year by learning the course, does it fetchable for me?
Yes, absolutely. So any additional things like BW, if you can showcase, or S4 HANA, because S4 HANA we are going to cover, BW Live we are going to cover. So you can mention that you have worked on that, and because it's a real-time scenario, you can actually tell this scenario in the interviews. That's why I'm showing you a real-time customer scenario. So yes, it will be beneficial for you. Now, coming to the cost of the training server, that you'll have to get in touch with Get Trained. I don't have the cost with me. They will give you the cost, but please mention that you have taken my training. They will give you a much better discounted price.
Okay. One more time. So just in our training, we are dealing only the FI planning. There are different plannings we have. Do you find any difference between FI planning and HR planning? Something? If I learn FI planning, can I tackle HR planning also in real-time scenarios?
Yes, you will be able to, because the concepts remain the same. See, the data will differ. Like in finance planning, you will deal with revenue, cost, expense, GL accounts, etc. On the HR side, you will deal with your headcount planning, your salary planning, wages planning. So the data will differ, but the concept of planning will be the same. Data actions will be also there. Your multi-action will also be there. Concepts like locking, data locking, disaggregation, currency conversion, everything will be common between all these things. So yes, you will be able to use that elsewhere as well.
Whatever the steps we learn, if we follow FI planning, we follow the same plan in case of HR also. You mean
well, the functional thing will differ. See, in the FI planning, I'm going to teach you what is an income statement. But in HR planning, you have to understand what is the organization structure. So in org structure in HR is different than org structure or the FSV structure in finance. That's the difference. But when it comes to the concepts in SAC planning, they are more or less the same.
Okay, thank you, Devansh.
No problem. Joachim, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Joachim Shira.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Dipanshu. Ivanju, first of all, I'm happy to join your training, and I fully understand what you actually intend to teach us. However, uh, in reality, I believe there's also one further aspect which might be very important. And I'm not absolutely sure whether you will at least theoretically tell us something about that. Let's assume you do a kind of income statement planning or profitability planning, and you also have another plan which is important to transfer the values to the income statement planning. For example, cost center accounting planning.
Right.
Do you also tell us, at least theoretically, what needs to be done to make sure that the values from the one plan will be copied over to the other plan?
Amazing question. Thank you for asking that question. Yes, this is covered. We are doing a cross-model copy step, which we are implementing as part of our planning. And in that cross-model copy step, we are copying the plan from the HR model. The HR model is having bonus and sales commission rate data, which is not there in our FI model. So how to copy the data from the HR model and get those bonus amounts and sales commission rate and then store it in our FI model for financial planning? Yes, that is being covered. And we are also covering the link functionality, which will enable you to dynamically read the data from any other model and then do your calculations on your FI side, the income statement one. So yes, that aspect is covered.
Great. And in addition, one last question from my side. You mentioned that you will teach us the integration from a more technical point of view to integrate S/4HANA and SAC. And you mentioned also that if you will be successful to configure that with that company, get training, that you may demonstrate the right back to S/4HANA. S/4HANA is fine. However, the reality in the world is that at least 60% of all companies are still working on ECC. So question is, could you at least theoretically tell us something about the former retractors which were available with BW in former times to write back, for example, cost center planning data to the cost center to COCCA?
Okay. Theoretically, yes, I will be able to tell you that. But hands-on, it depends on the success or the failure if I'm able to establish those connectivity or not. But yes, theoretically, I will be covering that aspect, how to do write backs. And I'll try to do for ECC and for BW, because these are the two most frequently used scenarios in customers. Either they will write back to a BW advanced DSO table, ADSO, or they will write back to ECC, but not directly ECC. Because in my current project also they are doing the write backs, but what they are doing is they are writing back to HANA Cloud, and from HANA Cloud they are writing back to ECC. So that is through flow graphs. We have replication task and we have flow graphs which will write the data back, and then we can. I can show you that theoretically, but I cannot promise hands-on on that.
Theoretically would be fully sufficient. Thanks a lot for that.
Sure. I'm going to do that. Those were some great questions. Thank you. Uday, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Debanshu.
Hello.
Yeah, currently I'm having 3 years of experience in SAP BW on HANA. So like thanks to you, like I have learned like most of the before HANA with your training previously.
Great.
So like my question is like in my project, like currently they were having SAC but I'm from SAP BW team, so I don't have access on that. So like how this course will be beneficial going forward, as SAP BW is my primary skill, but I want to know like end to end from SAC point of view.
Okay. In today's world, as far as my experience goes, just knowing BW is not good enough anymore. It might be the case 5, 10 years back, but today you have to know, or you are expected to know BW. A BW consultant is expected to know BW. He or she is also expected to know native HANA calculation views. He or she is also expected to know SAC, because now clients are moving to SAC. The SAP shop clients are moving to SAC, and they are expected to know SAC also. And if you search in the job market for SAC, you will see that 60 to 70% of the job opportunities for SAC asking for planning as well, SAC planning. And the reason they are asking is because SAC, the strength of SAC lies in planning. Of course, reporting is also strong and reporting is evolving with every quarter, but planning is where it fares better than other tools like Power BI or Tableau or Snowflake reporting or your ClickView, ClickSense. All these might be better in reporting than SAC, because SAC is anyways late in the game in the cloud market. But the place where SAC fares much better than them, because they don't offer planning, SAC offers planning. So learning SAC and also learning planning is going to give you the edge in the market, and it will help you in the job, because you can no longer just rely on BW. You have to know
Yeah.
SAC, you have to know calculation views, you have to know CDS views as well. So right now you have to know all these skills, and then you can secure your next 5 to 10 years.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Vaishali, go ahead, please. Hello, Vaishali, we can't hear you. Can you unmute? Actually, I do see you unmute, but I can't hear you. Okay, no problem. I think she's facing some mic issues, so we'll circle back to her. Rash, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, there we go. Okay, Rash, give us a minute, please. Yes, Vaishali, go ahead. We can hear you now. Vaishali? Oh, we lost her voice again. Okay, no problem. Vaishali, just wait, please. We'll come back to you. Rash, do you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to check with the server that's available, we are asked to use SAC trial account, but there will be features which are not available in the trial account. So whether you will be demonstrating or whether we should be doing, like, how do we do the hands-on for those things? I don't know which features, but yeah, there must be a difference between the trial SAC planning and the proper professional one.
That's correct. You're right. There are things you will not be able to do in the trial server. Advanced trial gives you a lot of those features which are not there in basic trial, but still, it will not show you everything, like especially administration part, which I'm going to show you. So for that, you just need to, see it on my screen, and I will explain what this is, where you'll have to go. This is what you have to do. And you can just take a note of that, take a screenshot, or anyways, recordings are available lifetime. By the way, recordings access is lifetime access. They do not expire. So you, even if 1 year from now, you can go back to the recording and check that this is where you will do. And when you will go for an actual project, then you can see those things. But unfortunately, if you don't have access to a licensed version, you only have access to a advanced trial, you will be able to do 90% of the things, but those 10% which is not allowed on the trial, you just have to see it on my screen and understand from there.
Okay, do you think the Learning Hub, which gives practice systems, will that be enough for the training? Because, for the SAC certification, they give a trial practice session, practice system.
Yeah, Learning Hub is another great resource you can use for sure. But Learning Hub will also probably not give you the entire end-to-end thing what we will do in our system. Learning Hub, you can spin up Learning Hub for SAC, and I think it is also connected to S4HANA. But I don't know if you will have all the access in S4HANA to create an FSV, to activate OData services, and things like that. So you'll have to check, but Learning Hub, definitely you can use that as well.
Okay, so that was one. Second was in your schedule that you had given, the chapter one, chapter two. I assume that most of the time we will be taking on the actual project, right? Because the SAC part we can learn and know from elsewhere as well. So the planning part, which is the project, will be the major part, right?
That is correct. So as I told you, we'll start with the functional design document, and then whatever we are building on the planning side will be as per the project requirement. So if we are building an input template, then it's going to be as per project. If we are creating data actions, it's going to be as per the project, currency conversion, everything. So that is all driven from the customer requirement.
Okay, and you'll give us those artifacts, right? The ones which are produced in between and the end.
So when you say artifacts, what exactly are you referring to?
I mean the functional documents
Oh, yes,
or the
yes, yes,
model itself,
absolutely.
the model itself, or
Model
I don't know
itself.
how.
Okay, model itself, I can export the model
Yeah,
out of,
exported model.
I can export the model out of the SAC, but I will not be able to give you the model as it is. But yeah, export, I can give you the export of the model, not a problem.
Okay, and we'll be able to import it at our end.
Depends if the trial server allows it or not. If it doesn't
Okay.
allow it, you will not be able to. But if it is allowed, check in the trial. If it is not there, check in the learning hub. If it's not there, then unfortunately you will be restricted there. But if it allows, then yes, for sure. But for the model to be imported, see, model also has connections,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I
So you'll
understand.
have to make sure that those connections are also intact, or connections you'll have to create.
Yeah.
Import jobs you'll have to create, because when you export, the import jobs do not come. So you'll have to create those import jobs, connections, etc. Yes, you'll have to do that. But the model part, I can definitely export and give it to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
No problem. Vaishali,
Hi,
were you?
Devanshu, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, this is yeah, Vaishali, we can hear you now.
Yes. Yeah, my question is very much similar to one which was asked before. I have like predominantly worked on SAP BW, and my knowledge on planning and finance is not thorough. So, will this class be beneficial for me?
Absolutely. Yes. There are no prerequisites. Finance knowledge or the planning knowledge which you need for this training, I am going to impart that knowledge to all of you, whoever will join the training. And I'm not going to make you a finance consultant. Okay. That's not the
Okay.
promise. The promise is that the income statement planning, what we are doing, you are going to understand everything functional about it. Like, what is an income statement? What goes inside an income statement? What are the different components? Why a company prepares income statement, and why we need to do planning or forecasting based on that income statement. That functional knowledge I'll give you, and
Great.
you should be able to do that.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Because, I do understand that some of the participants must be from finance background, but it will be beneficial if we start from scratch. So, I think you already answered my question. If you'll explain the entire, income statement and all, then that will be beneficial for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I
the
will.
balance sheet also, right?
No, balance sheet is
No,
not
it's
covered.
consolidation,
Only
right? That
the
one.
P&L, see, income statement, or also called P&L statement, profit and loss statement. That part is
Okay.
covered, not the balance sheet.
Okay, Devanshu. So, long story short, even with only SAP BW background, I will still be benefited from this training.
I would say so. Absolutely.
Okay, Devanshu. Thank you.
Thank you. Raj Shekhar, go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi Devyansu. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, how about the data sphere integration with SAP SAC?
No, that is not covered. Theoretically, I can tell you how DataSphere connects to SAC, but hands-on
Yeah,
it's not covered, because the focus
yeah.
is here SAC and planning, not DataSphere.
Okay. Careers perspective, are the goodies, a data sphere is good in market right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Having a DataSphere knowledge is very, very beneficial. But
Yeah.
if you compare the number of projects between SAC and DataSphere, SAC has much more projects than DataSphere. The reason is because SAC is already very robust and it has the planning component as well. DataSphere is not that strong, I would say, when you compare to BW. Yes, it is evolving with every quarter very fast. And hopefully by another 1 to 2 years, DataSphere will compete with BW and do more than BW. But right now, DataSphere is limited in terms of migration from BW. It's not very seamless, and there are a lot of challenges there. So DataSphere is coming up, yes, but having the knowledge of DataSphere will always help you, no doubt about it.
Yes, sir. I hear that one of my friend, a value-driven tree feature is disabled currently in SAC. What about that?
No, I have activated VDTs and I will show you VDTs also as part of the training. So
This
it is very
training.
much there.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Divans.
No problem. PV. Okay, guys, it's already 8:48, so I was supposed to stop at 8:30. So I'm going to take two more questions, couple of more questions, and then we will stop for today. PV, go ahead.
Yes. So SAC connects with various systems like ECC and HANA. So what about that connectivity? So are you will be showing us connectivity, or do we have that trial will have access to those systems, and how does that work?
Yes, I will be showing you that connectivity. I will be showing you the S/4HANA import data connectivity. I will be showing you BW for HANA live data connectivity and also native HANA calculation view connectivity. And we are going to discuss in detail what is required for those connections to work. Like for example, for S/4HANA import data, you will need cloud connector. So I will show you what a cloud connector is, how it looks like. For BW for HANA live connection, you need CORS, CORS, cross origin resource sharing. So what are the steps involved in the course? I'm going to show you that. And then I'm going to show you how a connection looks like and how it is created in SAC. So all that is covered, yes.
For trial version, we don't have hands-on for that one.
You do have. You can connect live. I'll have to check whether it allows or not. But import data definitely it allows, especially with get trained server, because as I told you, they have opened those ports. So you don't need cloud connector. For the trial server, you can directly connect. But I'm going to show you the cloud connector way. But in a trial server, you can connect to their S4 and get the data. And I think live is also enabled, but I'm not sure live for BW is enabled or live for native HANA calculation view is enabled. That you'll have to check, but it is there in the trial server.
Yeah, one more question. So does SAC replaces BWIP, which is integrated planning, or its IP is still there? This is in addition to IP.
Okay, so SAC does not replace IP because SAC is a cloud tool and IP is an on-premise tool. So if a client wants to go for pure cloud, then SAC is sufficient. Then you don't need integrated planning in your landscape. But if you already have integrated planning and you want to try out SAC, then you'll have to create those SAC models, your data actions, everything similar to what you do things in IP, like your planning sequence, planning functions, etc. So it doesn't replace it, but gradually, because people are moving to cloud. So if your client is ready to go to complete cloud, yes, IP will be migrated to SAC. But if they want to stay with on-premise tool, then IP is still supported, BPC embedded is still supported, and they will be supported until BW is also supported because IP integrates very tightly with BW. So as long as BW is supported, then IP will also be supported. The end date of BW, traditional BW, I'm not talking about HANA or for HANA or on HANA. The regular BW systems, they are ending the support in 2027, extended support till 2030. The BW on HANA and for HANA, the extended support will be till 2040. So up to then, IP will also be supported. So it depends from client. It depends on client. If they are ready to go to cloud, SAC will be the tool. You don't need IP. But if they want to stay with the, on-premise, then IP is supported.
Okay, so technically all the features of IP and the BPC are there in SAC. Is that right?
No, that's not right. So as I told you, SAC is very late in the game compared to other cloud products. So it's still doing the catch up. So I would say not everything what BPC and IP can do is there in SAC, but it is there at 70-80% right now. Because in BPC you can create baddies, you can create ABAP routines, you can create custom classes. So there's a lot of functionalities in IP and BPC. SAC is a little bit restricted right now. They have limitations, but it's catching up soon. So I would say another 6 months or 6 months to 1 year, SAC will surpass BPC and IP, but not now. Right now, no.
Okay, thank you, Devanshu. I'm done.
No problem. Last question, guys, and then we'll stop for today. And I'm sorry if I'm not able to circle back to people who have already asked questions, but still have more, because I want to give a chance to the people who have not asked any questions. The last question, I'll go for SA. I don't know the full name.
Yeah, hi, Debanjo. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Firstly, thank you so much for this information that you are giving out. So, and from my point of view, I attended your last session, which was BW for HANA. And I really like the way you really reply many questions. So you didn't take much time, and anytime I have questions, so you reply quickly. So my question for this session is about I'm working on a project, so BPC, and then we are looking for a functionality to write data from BPC, which is AO, analysis for Office, that we are using, and then to write it back to S4HANA. EC.P. So, and my question is that will you also touch this aspect, or you will just give us the theoretical information about this functionality?
I will give the theoretical information, theoretical knowledge about the write backs. So far, that is the status. That is the update. But I'm working relentlessly with the get trained people to make that connection work. And as soon as I'm able to make that connectivity work, I should be able to show you in the system as well. But don't count on that. No promises on the hands-on for the write backs. But theoretically, yes, I'm going to show you that.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, guys. So with that, we will stop for today. Again, very, very thank you, for attending the session. Thank you so much. We had great attendance and some really good questions. This is recorded, so it is going to be uploaded on YouTube. And this is my email ID. If you have more questions, then you can send me email on my email ID, devanshu.mukherjee@gmail.com. And also, we will I'm going to put this on YouTube and then send out a notice on LinkedIn that it is available, and then you can access the recording. And I'm again sorry about not being able to circle back to people who have more questions. So send me an email and then I'll try to answer as soon as I can. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.